Most of the time now, because I've done it for so long, it's become the opposite where like if I post the video the next day and that person wasn't in the vlog, they'll hit me up and be like, oh, I wasn't in the vlog. Guess I wasn't like cool enough to make the cut.
Guess Jack doesn't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Like,
Rock Nation, welcome back to episode 73 of the 505 podcast. Today's guest is the master of consistency. He is the vlog king. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jack Cook for round two, baby.
first reoccurring guest.
Come on.
Oh, it feels good to be here. And I just lobbed you such a softball with this drink open. So please start me off. Give me the 9 that I'm looking for.
Wait. Do you remember what you had last time?
It was either a high 7 or a low 8, I think.
I was being charitable. It was our first time meeting him and stuff. But now we can be super honest. Oh, you're lefty. You're lefty.
I'm a lefty.
Okay, ready, set, go. Wow.
That was good.
That was really good, Jack. That was good. 8-1, baby. Thank you,
let's
Jack.
go. Let's go.
That's how you know he's a veteran.
Yeah.
He's been around here.
It's so good to have you back.
I won't lie. There are plenty of times when I'm like cracking open my bev and I'm like, what would Braden score this? And every now and then I'll like put one in the vlog and I'm like, I wonder if he'll comment and give me a score.
Have you ever?
No, I don't think
That's funny.
But they're really quick too. I don't know if you'd have all the information you need.
I was recently just in Preston, Idaho for a family reunion, and I'm sitting there like at night, phone's not working and shit, and I just hear Jack's voice out of the corner of the room. I'm like, are you fucking watching Jack's vlogs? Chloe's been ripping your vlogs, dude.
Let's go.
Every day. And I'm like, every time I hear it, I'm like, you better like and comment on that shit.
Save.
You better like and comment and save on that.
Share to 10
Let
friends.
Jack know. Yeah, I'm like, let me watch what he did today. Like, bring it on over here.
Also, I think I have some problems maybe with your scores. I feel like you pad your stats a little bit.
Dude,
it's a thing.
I won't lie.
Dude.
1,000%.
Dude, listen, okay? From the cheap seats, it's always just chatter.
All I hear is 9-4 this, 9-2 this.
Well,
I'm
when
like,
you're really good at something, people like under you, they get a little butthurt.
I'm on your page.
Just like, Derek Jeter, I'm sure he got a lot of hate back in the day. Michael Jordan, same kind of situation. And I feel like I kind of fall in that box.
There's a little bias.
we need a third-party committee.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of made the game up. It's like a dictatorship. You know what I mean?
Lame.
Not fair.
Well, Keon keeps just like telling me that he's not in the 4s and 5s, but he keeps denting the can. And there's nothing I can do. If you dent the can, it can't be above a 5.
There's no dents here.
No,
right?
I know. And that's why you got a great score today.
Okay.
I'm
The
really happy.
YouTube viewers know the truth.
Yeah.
That I only bring out bangers and that you're a tyrant.
Well, they're full of shit. Okay. And I'm gonna start blocking them. Dude, someone hit me up actually the other day and they DM'd me something about the one-handed crack, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna expose you. And I was like, if you send one more mean comment, you're blocked. And like, test me, dude. I'm gonna start fucking blocking people on YouTube.
You know who I want to see rip a one-handed crack? The aliens.
Oh, dude, the aliens would do a 9-9 first try. We've they actually sent me a DM. We put up the little poll thing, right? And so I got
The aliens.
No, I got like one of the things was just like X, Y, and a bunch of letters, and I was like, weird. And it asked like, how can I make a vlog? So they're actually plotting to like vlog in space and shit. And so
would make for some pretty good content. I feel like they'd go viral.
It'd be pretty wild what they've got going on
Vlogging in
right there.
space is definitely a goal of mine.
Is that on your bucket list?
Yeah, like vlog 1000 is definitely going to be like on the moon or something.
You know what you could actually do that would be really fun? Have you seen those zero gravity planes where they take you up?
Oh, yes.
That would be
They have
so
that in
lit.
Vegas, right?
Oh, do they?
I think so.
I
I
don't
think
know.
you can go up and do it and you're like all floating all weird. You could do that for a vlog.
That would be fun.
You should rip that.
Have you planned like random big milestone numbers? You don't have to tell what the plan is for them, but have you been like, oh, at 1,000, we're going to do this?
At 1,000, I want to have a party.
Oh, sick.
I feel like that would be fun.
That would be super fun.
Just like everyone who's like been supportive, like can come out. I don't know where I would do it, but I think it's 1,000 is like next summer, kind of around this time, like end of July or something. So a year from now.
I really hope we're out of the country. I think we should do like Euro Summer Jack's 1,000th
1,000
vlog.
vlog.
That'd be fun.
I'm just like balling by then, and I can like bring everyone to Europe.
Whole squad. You're like,
Charter a jet.
I got the tickets. Everybody just show up.
Yeah. Keon, where's Drake go again?
Turks and
Turks and
Caicos.
Caicos. Baby,
Yeah.
take me where Drake goes.
That's where we should be, dude.
That's where we need to
We
be.
need to go there. Dude, so tell us a little bit about what you've been up to these last few weeks.
Oh, geez. I've been doing a lot of editing recently.
I just spilled like all over myself. I'm
Okay.
really sorry about that. We gotta redo that. Yeah. Okay, now I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. Yeah, I'm good.
It's just been focusing on the vlog a lot. Like the past, I think 200 plus days, it's been like my full-time job, which is kind of cool. And so I've just been focused on like what that looks like and how I can keep sort of building this world that I'm trying to make. That's really it.
So a year ago when you came on, life looked a lot different.
Very different.
You popped on the shows. Jack, we actually didn't know anything about him besides the fact that he was making a vlog.
Yeah.
That was all we knew about you, and we just were creeping on your vlogs. And so when he walked through the first day and you saw him on the show, that was 10 minutes before we met you.
Yeah, literally.
So much has changed, and I'm so happy for you and just like love to see you succeed. Tell me a little bit about how life has changed in that last year, what you were doing then and what you're doing right now.
Well, I think last time I was here was literally vlog 199. Like I said on the pod, it was like tomorrow's 200. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. And you guys were asking about, I can't remember what we were talking about, but like income or like how to make a living doing freelance and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm sort of in the middle of like, I'm starting to get hit up by brands to do stuff in my vlogs. And so I'm sort of in the midst of this change and I don't really know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to explore it and see what happens. And now 664, I think is today, 665 maybe. And now I'm like, that's all I do now. Like that's my full-time income. Like the freelance stuff I haven't really pushed to the side, but I've been like super selective about what I choose and like what I want to do. And then the vlog's been the thing that's made me the most excited to make every day.
Do you feel like during that time period when you were doing these other projects, was it always in the back of your mind of like, I don't want to be doing this. I would way rather just be vlogging?
I think it was the vlog would be more fun to do because it would be like doing these freelance projects, but for myself. And so like I would get to come up with the creative and I would get to be kind of the mastermind behind like what the story looks like. And that was my biggest thing with doing freelance work was I felt like I was always trying to make somebody else's vision come to life. And with the vlog, it kind of gets to be my vision that comes to life. And so really I only wanted to do the vlog because I was like, if this can turn into my full-time thing, I just get to make the decisions about what it looks like. It's like working with brands. I get to be the one that's like, here's what I want to do. Here's how I want to create this video.
You're in a really interesting position where you're able to say no to probably like most of the stuff that you just don't want to do. And I feel like as a creative, what a great place to be in, because so often, there's the struggling artist where you're like, I don't want to do this, but I need to pay rent and I have bills to pay. So like I need to take this gig.
That still happens for me sometimes. Sure. There are definitely times where I'm like, do I want to do this? Yeah. Not really, but I'm going to do it because so it still happens a little bit. And
also there was one other thing.
Find it. Land that plane.
Sorry, I sort of
derailed
I'm glad you did that.
There.
Yeah.
I'll find it again. Fuck.
You got it.
No, I don't know. I'm just really happy for you.
Thanks.
Plane landed. Just so proud of my boy, Jack.
Jack, in the beginning, were you ever writing them out the day before what you kind of wanted to film? Or was it always a free-for-all?
It was very much a decision to not do that because I thought if I start doing this, it's going to be the only thing that I do. And then I'm going to live each of my days out like I'm...
Oh, that's trippy to think about.
Just doing it for the vlog. There have even been times when like I'll start to think in my head like, oh, we should go do this because it will be good for the vlog. And I'm like, I need to backtrack that thought. Like that's not a good thought to have. That'll become a really slippery slope. So everything I do has to be like, because I actually want to do it as a person.
Totally. Have you gone through that like at other times you've done 665 in a row? Has there been any other, what's up?
I found my point.
Oh, get it.
Okay. Yeah. What I was going to say.
No, get it.
No, you've done so many in a row. Me and Braden did a 30 for 30 challenge. I just wanted to give you props because 30 days was really hard. Don't know how you've done 664 or 5. That was my point.
That's a good point.
I'm just so proud of my boy.
30's a lot though. Like that's, I mean, that's not easy to do.
It was something. I feel like we learned a lot though.
Totally.
And I am now giving myself a little more time because I have to make videos obviously to make my living.
Yeah.
I don't get to make the vlog yet my living, but I've gotten some interesting emails from random little brands that are like weird, usually pretty weird. Yeah. I got one that was kind of interesting today from like a random like neck pillow brand. I was like, we could vibe. Like I could be about this. Like, could you guys send over some
Neck
stuff,
pillows.
some budget, and we'll like talk about this.
What was the hardest part about doing it daily? I feel like you guys probably talked about this in that one episode.
I think it was just having to do my like full-time job with this.
Okay,
that was
balancing both.
Yeah, that was by far the hardest because I'd have to batch them on the weekends, and I low-key just don't like to batch, even though I know that is a way that I could get out maybe way more pieces of content, but it takes out the fun for me. I really enjoy like. Even when I was in Idaho, like I like just filming the day or filming little aspects or coming up with one video. Okay, filming it. Okay, editing it, done. Like that's done for the day.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy like sitting down for 9 hours behind the computer. And I'm also trying to minimize time behind the computer. I really don't want to edit a lot anymore because I think that I should just be living and just enjoying life. I feel like it's too short to be stuck behind my computer. You know,
especially now that we know that aliens are for
now
sure
that we know
real.
that,
It's like,
then it's just like, dude, I'm in my room and they're just hanging out up there. Like, come on.
664 in. I've never batched a single
Respect
episode
That's
or
crazy.
clip. Not a single clip has gone.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I've never reused a clip. I mean,
Really?
there's been videos where I like, you know, make something for dinner and then I make like a separate video about like what that recipe is or something.
You've
I
never reused a clip.
Never reused a clip. No.
That is
well,
that's
for your
awesome.
like best moments, but that's like
Just like specific video. I'm saying like there hasn't been a vlog
Sure.
where I reuse
Sure.
a clip from a different vlog.
Our
Unless
blood
I'm
is
like,
authentic.
yeah.
Yeah, you're always just trying to make new stuff. Has there been a period of time where you felt like, you know, burnt out from the vlog, from doing so many?
Not burnt out. I think that there's been lots of times where my motivation and discipline has been very much tested. And it's one thing that I wanted to talk about in like the topics that I had. But like, I think doing this so consistently, motivation and discipline are not really enough. I can't depend on them. My motivation like isn't always there to make the vlog, and my discipline at 3 a.m. when I'm editing something and I know I have to get up at 7, I have no discipline to want to make that vlog happen. But it's an obsession. Like I'm obsessed with getting them up every day, shooting them a little bit different every day, trying to tell a better story every day. And that's the only reason I feel like I haven't burnt out, is because I still wake up 600 whatever days later thinking like, how can I make the fancy gym look a little bit cooler for this one video? Or like, how can I have a better transition from, you know, me being in the kitchen to sitting at my desk doing some work, whatever it is. And like those little things, rather than like the outcome of how many views I'm getting or followers or whatever, like that's not really what I'm thinking about every day. I'm thinking about like those little moments and how I can make them better. And I think it's the only reason I haven't burnt out yet.
And I think that's why the quality of them is where it's at, right? Because there's no way that you would be able to do that many in a row if you were obsessed with like the numbers, likes, followers.
No way.
It just wouldn't be possible. You would
No
have
way.
burned out at, you know what I mean?
Or going off of that, you would have fallen into the trap of like, I need to do this cool thing for the vlog. And then you kind of like lose yourself in the content, and you're like, you hear like Logan Paul talk about that, how when he was daily vlogging, he like didn't know, he doesn't even recognize who he is during that time, because he was like, I was just trying to do the craziest thing to get the most views. And like, you're a slave to your content, and you're almost not acting, you're not present. You're like,
You become a character.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is what I feel like Casey felt like.
Probably,
you know,
yeah.
he was just saying that if someone wouldn't meet him for lunch that he knew he could get a clip out
Yeah.
of, he was like, no, I can't meet you for lunch. And
That's crazy.
And that was how his day revolved. Or if he was like, oh, me and Candace are fighting, like, I don't know if I could get a clip with her today. Like, that's what he was thinking. That's what he said in a
So
podcast.
nuts.
It's insane to think about, you know?
I think the only reason I haven't run into like that kind of issue is the voiceover, because when I'm shooting stuff during the day, like I can go to lunch with somebody and we can just be talking for the full hour, and I might get some clips of us when we're eating or whatever. But it's not like, I don't need to get the audio clips for the vlog. I don't need to be like, hey, I need your audio bit, or like I need to shoot something with us. Like I just do that later with the voiceover. So I feel like it's a good separation to just be doing like the voiceover later. Like that's when I'm kind of on. That's like the only time I feel like I'm on.
Have you been in a situation where someone's like, please don't film me? Or like, are you a little cautious about being around someone new who you've never met before? Like, of course, right, the first day you met us, like we're hyped to be in the vlog because like
Yeah.
it's like what we do. But I'm sure you've been in situations where you're around people who are like, please, like, don't film me or whatever?
I haven't been around anyone who's been like uncomfortable with it, luckily. And most of the time now, because I've done it for so long, it's become the opposite, where like if I post the video the next day and that person wasn't in the vlog, they'll hit me up and be like, oh, I wasn't in the vlog. Guess I wasn't like cool enough to make the cut.
Guess Jack doesn't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's almost like a responsibility of like, if somebody invites me to some event or something, I feel like I need to get them in the video, as like, that's like my trade-off.
you know, you also saying that, I think the fact that you're using your phone as opposed to a big camera,
that makes a big difference.
It's a lot more unassuming, and like everybody's always filming stuff on their phone.
Yeah. I feel like people know how to interact with the phone better too, because like people are always posing for pictures or like stories. Like people are always using their phone to shoot things. So like if I'm just like, you know, smile and that's it, and it's like 2 seconds, like people are pretty comfortable doing that.
Yeah. So, okay, you've been doing this for a while and you've learned a ton.
Yeah.
And the reason why we wanted to have you back on is because you have some pretty specific pieces of advice that you would like to give our listeners as to how you feel like they can make their content better, things that you've incorporated into your vlog. So you have 6, correct?
Yes.
And I feel like we should kind of just have you rattle one off and we'll talk about it. Tell us how you feel like they can make their content better, and then we'll just kind of riff.
Yeah, I feel like there's been so much since the last time we sat down that I feel like has made my videos better. Just a lot of knowledge that I've learned, and I thought like we just should do a whole content masterclass course.
I love it.
Sitting down today. So
we'll send the tip thing at the end. It'll be 10, 15, or 20%. So I'll Venmo you that. Yeah, I'll Venmo you that over after.
Dude, that was clever.
No worries. Nice. Yeah, Jack. So number one, you said that people need conflict. And when I think about that, I automatically go to that Casey Neistat video, my greatest ever, where he rescues the drone from the top of the building, and he starts it off with like, "We have a problem," and I'm like, "What's the problem, Casey?" And he, gets the drone at the end of it. It's like, woo! So how do you feel like, you've added conflict in just your daily life without making your day a catastrophe?
No, it's a great example from Casey, and I feel like that's a huge thing that people miss out in their storytelling online. Is you're always sort of searching for the highlight moment, and that's what you put out there. But if there's no conflict, there's always a conflict to get to that highlight moment. And if you don't document both of them, people don't get the same elation from that highlight moment that you did. You feel the elation from it because you went through the conflict and then you got to that highlight moment, and that's what it made so great for you. You have to share both when you're sharing online. So I think you have to think about conflict a little bit more broadly. And like I was saying this to you as an example on the phone last night, like conflict doesn't have to be something that is the end of the world, and it doesn't have to be something that's going to like ruin your entire day. It can be little things throughout the day. Like if I'm going to do laundry and I have a shot of me like opening the door to like do the laundry, and I open up the detergent bottle and I'm like, oh, I'm out. There's now my conflict, is I'm out of detergent. So then that makes me have to go to the store, pick up detergent, come back to the house, start the laundry load. Now you have like the conflict and the resolution to that conflict. Just doing laundry alone isn't necessarily like an interesting thing to show, but like having the conflict and the resolution to it then makes the story interesting. So I think like finding those moments throughout the day, or like if my phone, one time in a vlog, like my phone fell over and it sort of like knocked the pan over that I was cooking eggs on, and then all the eggs like spilled out, and like it's a funny moment, and then it was sort of like played into this conflict that I had to like resolve. And it's just a minor thing, but it makes your stories a little bit more interesting to watch when you have the conflict and the resolution.
Yeah. I also think another thing that we were talking about on the phone is dealing with the pressure of like time. So only like deadlines, like having to get something done maybe sometime in the future, in the near future, or like you were saying, okay, I have 10 minutes to leave the house, or like you see this very popular on TikTok of like, I have to get out the door in 5 minutes, but like get ready with me. And you're like, bullshit, you have to get ready in 5 minutes and like make this video. But having that deadline and a certain amount of time to get something done in adds, that conflict into videos.
Yeah, and it gives you a little bit of context. And like, if I'm going to go make breakfast, I can say, okay, I have 25 minutes until my next call. Can I finish making breakfast in time to get on my next call? Like I did that the other day in one of my vlogs, and I like didn't have time to actually sit down and eat the breakfast. So then I went on the call, came back, and then ate the breakfast. So it's just like having a little bit of the conflict rather than I made breakfast and then I had my call and then I ate the breakfast. It's like, it's not that interesting.
And I think like competition too, like the competition that we have, you know, and
Which I'm clearly winning.
No, and I literally did this, you know, on purpose. Did this on purpose.
Holy shit.
So I could show the people like
Brandon has his shirt off.
what
Damn,
we're working
it's
with.
a little embarrassing.
What we're working with.
I would put the shirt back on.
What
if I
we're
was
working
you.
with on the show, you know, and I haven't even been working out, you know.
That's no pump.
No, that's no pump. That's like I thought I was gonna go to the gym today. I just dressed up for it. You know, I went outside to go to the gym, and then I went and got my car washed. Don't get your car washed anymore. Just don't do it. Just wash it yourself, dude. I literally tipped the guy $10. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be the best car wash ever.
Yeah.
Open the fucking door. Goose's paw prints are all over my seats, right?
Oh,
and I
God.
showed the guy. I go, yeah, I really need this off. Like, please make sure that's off. He goes, comprende. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I get back there and there's just paw prints all over the back. And I just didn't have it in me to argue today. And I was like, you know what? I want to have a great show. And that's it. And so I just came back. So don't get your car washed. Just
I like a drive-through car wash though. It's kind of fun.
I do too, but like the car whore in me like hates the scratched paint thing, and I just can't do it.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
can't do it. I like have to wash it myself or have it hand washed.
I'm really proud of you for not getting mad
Thanks.
at that guy because like your road rage or your
You have road rage?
Road rage for sure.
roid rage actually is what I meant to say. It looking like that
Road
clearly
rage
is
for
using
sure.
some PEDs, which I just refuse to use.
You do look tan, by the way. I do have to say, you look tan.
Dude, no, my stump. Look at my sunburn. Look at that.
What is this from? Is this from...
That was from the lake life. We were on the lake for
Idaho.
an extended.
okay.
We were out there for like 3 hours, and I kept making the joke that I'm not sunburned, and that was a lie, obviously. So
I didn't see any lake content, so did it actually happen?
I didn't have the phone with me because I thought
So
my
you
phone,
really didn't go?
Yeah, I didn't
If
go.
you-
I didn't go to the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But competition is great for for vlogs and for stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Competition is great.
Jack, give me number 2 on the list.
Number 2 on the list is going to be world building. This is something that I think I actually discussed last time on the pod. Maybe at the end a little bit.
Potentially.
But thinking of yourself and your content almost as a TV show. And the way that TV shows operate is they sort of build this world and they build these characters inside the world, and they have side characters. There's even like inanimate objects that can become characters. There can be like inside jokes, like the conflict that you guys have in your content. Like that's a great inside joke that people would only understand if they watch your stuff.
It's not a joke. I don't know why you're saying it's an inside joke, but no, yes.
It's a
100%.
yeah. You have
100%.
to be in on it though
Yeah.
to understand the
Yeah.
conflict. And so I think
It's so funny because someone like recognized Brayden at the
That was
fair,
the
right?
fair, yeah, that was the fair. But he didn't come up to me. Like I got a DM after, and I was so pissed because I was like, dude, Chloe, I would have loved this, dude.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
would have been awesome. But he was like, yo, you're actually like pretty big in person.
I don't know what Kostas is saying.
I was like, thanks, man. That's like the nicest thing anyone's ever said.
wow, that was some good
Oh
reassurance.
my gosh, yeah, it was so funny. I was like, dude, God, I wish Chloe would have. If it would have said that in front of Chloe, I'd be like, he's actually way bigger in person. I'm like, I would have just melted to the floor.
That's amazing.
But continue.
sorry to cut you
No,
off.
you're good. You're good. So I think like thinking of yourself as a TV show, you're the main character. Who are the other characters in your videos? Like I think of you guys as characters in my videos, not friends. That was a joke. I don't think it landed.
Oh. I was like, okay,
I was
sick.
like, what are we? Are we best friends?
That did not land.
No, it's okay.
It went right past your head.
Yeah, I was focused in.
Okay, but I think of people in my life and how they can be like side characters almost
Sure.
in the content in a fun way. And you have to think about things in your life. Like an example, if you've seen any of my videos, is like the fancy gym has almost become this character and it has a storyline to it. And you have to think about how are you building this world? And if somebody was on the outside looking at your content, would they feel like they are a part of a world and a part of a story? Visually, the way that you're describing yourself as a character, the way that you're describing people around you as characters, like the things that are in your life, they need to feel like they are watching a TV show. It's not just like making videos for an algorithm to try and go viral. They need to feel like they're a part of a story.
Even the fact that you call it the fancy gym and have a name for it.
Yeah.
goes into that.
And people ask all the time, like, what's the real name of the gym? So I think if you said the fancy gym, people would understand it in that context only if they watched my videos. So it sort of creates this tight community around like the term fancy gym for no reason other than I just started putting it in the videos.
They need to give you a free gym membership if they don't already. Because I'm sure
they currently don't, but that's okay.
Bullshit. Has anyone seen your videos?
I don't know. No one that works there has said anything before, but I've seen there are people there that I know who are like friends of mine. So they've seen the videos, but nobody working has ever been like, oh, I saw your videos being in here. So not yet.
You also have like the Tesla, I feel like, is its own little character.
It's kind of a character.
We got Erewhon is definitely
its own little character.
Your home is its own little character.
Yeah. And visually, you have to think about all those spaces. Like my house, I really think about like, how can I shoot this so people really understand what the space looks like here? How the kitchen is like next to the dining room that's next to the office, and I want people to understand like the flow that it has from one to another, so you like visually can map out what it would be like if you were standing in my house with me. And so if you're just looking at a shot of the kitchen but you understand whatever is around you when you're watching the video, I hope it like puts you right there in the middle of this world that I hope I'm building, and sort of like it sinks you into the story a bit more.
Which is what I feel like people even do in all kinds of music videos, like all kinds of content. You want them to feel like they're a fly on the wall with you in that. And I feel like the content that I personally watch from people, I really enjoy that, where I'm like, oh, I'm in Tim's sneaker room. I'm like, I know exactly what this looks like. Or
exactly.
I'm in his room and we're making tacos or whatever, you know? And I feel like that brings you in and gives you something to grab onto, rather than the hot girl on the beach with a bikini pic or whatever. It's just, that's it, you know?
Right.
You don't have any substance to really hold on to.
Hey, both are great content, okay? Chase isn't here, but you got to stop for the booty.
Yeah, Chase would have said that for sure.
Okay, a question for you. Did you test out how slippery your floors were in that house before you moved in?
No, we just ripped the slide.
Let's go.
Yeah, just went for it.
Okay, not all hardwood floors are built equally. Some are more slippery than others. And
mine are pretty not slippery, actually.
I would love you to test these out, because with shoes on though, probably, because your feet would just turn black from how dirty our floors are. But yeah, if
I could tell you right now,
you can
live reaction. Okay, I'm taking my shoe
there
off.
We go.
Okay, tell us.
And these are probably just as slick as mine.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, not very slick. So like the one time that I went home to my house in Savannah, the floors were really slippery there, and I couldn't gauge it that well. And you can see the first time I did the slide in, I completely wipe out because I had like way too much speed going into my slide.
That's so funny.
Another person that we all obviously like love and talk about is like Casey Neistat, and I feel like he was just like the GOAT at making New York, a whole city, feel like his like playground, and that was part of his story. Like $1 pizza. Like if I went to New York, I would want to go buy $1 pizza. Or like I can only imagine how many people bought a boosted board because of like how incorporated it was into it.
So many.
I did.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had one.
I'm jealous.
It was so fun. You could get anywhere on campus in under 5 minutes.
And think about his office. Like you felt like you were in his office with him. And how much money would you have paid at that time?
I would have paid a lot of money to get
to
that
like
office.
go in and just take a tour.
Yeah, see those cameras, see all the tools and shit, all the labeled shit, all his overhead shot setup. It's so funny to think about.
It's crazy how like disorganized it looks and like cluttered, but he actually is like so organized and knows where everything is.
Yeah.
Also going off of world building and like giving certain inanimate objects names or all that kind of stuff is like, when it comes to branding, right? Like IP comes into play. And so then like if you're thinking about, you know, future being able to monetize your personal brand, if you have things that play under your IP, like you're able to monetize that in a way. For example, like you having the Bev in your vlog sets you up for the potential to have a brand deal and a partnership with that company.
Yes.
Which I think is also important, like to think about, and something we try to incorporate into the pod with like Sketch Boy Hours and Rock and One Handed Crack and all that kind of stuff. So that's just something to think about when you're creating
And
content.
the boulders versus the rocks versus the pebbles.
Versus the sand.
Yeah.
We have sand now.
Sand.
They're
I didn't
just-
know about sand, actually.
They're just on Instagram.
That's it.
Just kind of scrolling sometimes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, but the boulders are like checking in, dude. Also, if you're a boulder and you know you're a boulder, get your butt over to YouTube and do the boys a favor and leave us a like, please.
What's crazy is we got like,
Oh, dude.
we got, I think like
Yeah,
the
clap it up
most,
for the dude.
we got the most likes we've ever gotten. I think it was like 160-ish.
Nice.
I'd love to get 200 likes on
Oh,
YouTube
let's
this
go.
episode.
Let's
be
go.
big time.
Yeah.
Let's get the rocks together and let's make that happen. But Jack, give me.
Hold on. That was kind of a good alley-oop from me. Can we just acknowledge that I kind of alley-ooped that to you?
Yeah, you
and I
did.
didn't
Yeah.
really know that I was
Yeah.
doing that, but
Yeah.
okay.
Come on, dude.
That was fire. That was fire. Jack,
Yes.
number 3 is going to be open-ended storylines.
Oh, I love this. Okay, this is something I discovered, I don't even know, maybe a year in is when I really started to think about this. So having storylines where I always thought that if I was posting the video, like I needed to start and end the storyline in the same video. And then that needed to be posted so people could get the entire story all in one video. And having a format like the vlog, it allows me to experiment with storylines and start something and sort of experiment with that storyline across multiple videos, sometimes weeks, months, you know? So like, for example, recently I've been trying a bunch of different like protein bars, and every time in a new video, I'm like trying a different one, trying a different brand. And that's sort of leading to an eventual into that storyline where I open the storyline in one video and then close it 3 weeks later. I made like a top 5 list from all these videos that I was continuously mentioning that across many, many videos. So it was like opening that storyline and not closing it all in the same video as well. And when you do that, you can start to actually stack those storylines on top of each other. So I was like, I was like looking at one of my vlogs the other day. I think it was vlog 645. And I watched like the first 20 seconds of it because I was trying to get a good example of this. And in the first 20 seconds, I started and opened 5 different storylines in the first 20 seconds that didn't have a close to them anywhere in the video. But you wouldn't have known, unless you had seen my other videos, you would have no idea what I'm talking about with those 5 different storylines. But because it sort of gives you more of a world to build out, because I'm referencing back to older videos and older storylines, and it's sort of bringing in that first 20 seconds. I hope then you feel like, boom, you're back in this world. You're like comfortable again with the protein bar. I'm back at the fancy gym. We have the bev. Like all of these things sort of make you feel like you're a part of this story, and it's continuous. It's not something that's going to start and end today. It's something that's going to continue, and I want to be a part of it in the future. So I think that's like really important when you're building a community. You want to sort of open these storylines for them and maybe not close them immediately.
I also think that lends to making specific series within your content, like on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. For example, like we were doing Tip Tuesday, right? Or like Peter McKinnon was doing 2-Minute Tuesday, where every Tuesday he would put out a video, and the whole running joke is that like none of the videos were actually 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
But you know that you could rely on Peter to put out a 2-Minute Tuesday every Tuesday, and you really looked forward to that. And that's kind of a form of like an open-ended story.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Because that format can expand and it can become different. And
Yes.
like another thing that happens when you start to do this is you get banter back and forth with the audience. So like I introduce like, boom, I'm going to try all these different protein bars. And a few days later, people start commenting like, you got to try this brand. You got to try this brand. So then I go pick up that brand that I wouldn't have picked up that brand if I had just done, okay, I'm going to do my protein bar video, and it's just going to be the ones that I picked. It may not have opened me up to those brands that the people in the comments were talking about.
How tuned in would you say you are with your comments and like what your viewers want to see? Like, are you taking suggestions as far as like what to incorporate into your vlogs?
All the time. I'm like so tuned in to anyone who's actually commenting on my videos. I feel like we are friends. Like as soon as if we were to ever meet in real life, like we would be homies immediately. Like I know these people's usernames. I ask them where they're from. Like I know Lukey Fields, for example, he's been like studying abroad all summer, and he just got back. He's like back in school again. He's like doing this side hustle to be an accountant right now. Like he's one of the people who's like always been watching my videos. So I feel like I'm really paying attention to like what those people really want to see.
That's so interesting because
Yeah.
I feel like Casey, for example, this gal comments on like all of our stuff. She's a homie.
Yeah.
And even when there's like no comments.
Oh, yeah.
Casey is there, dude, and she's a homie, and it's so awesome to just like when you get that one comment, you're like, oh yes,
Yes.
you're awesome. Like, thank you. You have no idea what that does for the creators who are just even starting. Like,
Absolutely.
when you get your first one or like 3, you're like, yes, dude. I'll never understand why people don't comment back to the.
I don't get that either. I
Yeah.
love commenting back.
It's fun. I like set aside time to do it because I enjoy. And maybe I'll meet a new friend. You never know.
Exactly.
You know, I gave Kostas a chance, just like that. Commented on my photo.
Now they live together.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Happens just
I
like
was
that.
like, oh, dude, this weird guy's commenting on my shit. Here we
Dude,
go.
you're lucky somebody verified slid in your DMs, bro. Speaking of viewers, I think we throw it to some Q&A.
Yeah, Keon's been a little quiet over
Keon,
there.
what's going on in your
Come on,
corner?
what's going on over there?
I'm
Hit
getting
us.
a little bored in the corner, but we got some rock questions going on. Let's see.
We had some people send us in some questions, so
Yeah.
here are some answers for you.
Hit me.
Number one coming in from the rock questions. We got, what's the worst part about making the vlog?
Oof. Okay, Duncan sent in this question, so shout out to Duncan. The worst part, there's not like a specific thing that I necessarily don't like about making the vlog, but there are specific times where it's really tough. So great example would be, I talked a little bit about it, but like Miami recently, I went to F1 Miami with Heineken. That was the brand that I was with. And that was a marathon of a weekend. It would be like at the racetrack all day. Keep in mind, this is an incredible experience, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. But being in the hotel room at 3:30 in the morning, still having an hour plus left to continue to edit the vlog, knowing that I have to wake up at 7 because the bus leaves at 8 and I got to have all my stuff together before the bus leaves. That time where it's 3:30 and I go, am I really going to sit here and cut for another hour, make this vlog, and it's going to be vlog 579? Can I not take like one time to just maybe sleep in a little bit, or I'll do it at the racetrack or something? And I'm like, nope, I'm going to do it right now, and I'm going to go to bed at 5 a.m.
So you're always powering through at night to make the cut.
Yes. Well, in the specific scenarios where I have to leave so early in the
okay.
morning,
Yeah.
that I don't have time to do it in the morning.
Okay.
And like there are specific weekends, and usually it's around events where like posting in the morning is also really important because I'm doing a recap of the previous day. So I want people to be like I want it to be like news. Like it's like top of your feed when you wake up in the morning type of thing.
Love that.
On some Twitter shit.
yeah,
in a
I
way.
like that. Okay.
You're not sketch boy hours kind of guy?
I'm not. If it's a normal week, I'm
Yeah.
in bed before 11:30.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
You're getting a little sketch.
I'm rarely up past 12:30. So I feel like that's not like sketch is like 2 a.m. plus, right?
Yeah, I feel like it starts at like 11:45 midnight and then goes
Okay.
however on you stay up. But
Yeah, I'm not too much of a sketch boy,
Yeah.
honestly. I'm an early morning boy.
Hell yeah. Dude, I think early morning is way more elite than late night.
you know what's
Really?
crazy
Yeah.
is so like I'll stay up really late and then still beat him up, just because.
Just
for
because
s-
you're like that.
Just for sport.
You're just him.
Yeah.
And he's just like a zombie.
Give me number 2, Keon from the corner.
All right, number 2. What is your process for chopping up a doc?
Oh, okay. This is a good question. And I was recently doing it quite different for the Zila documentaries that I was editing. And I feel like this could be interesting. So typically, and tell me how you guys go about this, but typically I have, especially for a big project, I start and I'm kind of like, okay, I'm going to do an assembly edit. And I'm just going to kind of lay out a very rough timeline just so we have everything there. And then we're going to go back and chop it up slowly. Is that how you guys do it?
Yeah, I've never done something over 10 minutes that's like that, but I'll do the same thing that you did, but then I'll have all my interviews and I'll chop my interviews first. So I have like the backbone of where I'm like, okay, I could do cool intro with like 30 seconds of music. I could have some talking stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll go into like figuring, I'll even do it on the whiteboard with like sticky notes of like, okay, sick intro 0 to 20.
Yeah.
This is like talking head of dad, like another cool little edit and that kind of thing. That I feel like that helps me because I can't really do it. I can do it like that in Premiere, but I also need to physically see it or I'll draw it.
Right.
How I'm kind of gonna like make it make sense.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've never really done super long projects. I've never worked on a doc. I guess like the longest stuff that I have really ever done was real estate tour videos, which would be anywhere from, 6 to 10 minutes. But the way I would do it is I would like, take the realtor's talking head, right? As we're walking through the house, and then maybe we do a couple different takes. I'd find the best take for each one. Okay, now it's laid out. I'm picking my music. Now that I have my music, I'm going through the B-roll, pulling my select for the B-roll and incorporating it into like what he's saying.
So that kind of process is how I used to do the Zila documentaries, is like, let me lay the foundation first and then we'll do the pretty stuff afterwards and like really dial it in. Recently what I did, and I actually liked this a lot better mentally editing, was, okay, we have a 20-minute project that this is going to end up being, and we have 8 different scenes. So let me schedule out all these scenes, and I have 4 days to edit these 8 scenes. I'm going to only work on the first 2 scenes today, and I'm going to work on 2 scenes at a time. And it gave me like a stop and an end point, and it wasn't like I'm creating a rough cut, is I'm making the final version of these scenes right now today. And once I got through the end of that scene, I wasn't going to the next scene to try and like continue on. I was staying there and saying, let me do the music right now. Let me do all of the B-roll right now. Let me do all the pretty stuff right now. And mentally, it gave me a place to like start and stop, which I really liked, rather than let me do the whole thing as an assembly up front and then go back in and make the pretty stuff.
I did a version of that as I was making recap videos or like promo videos for Loud Luxury. They'd be like, okay, this needs to be a minute long and you're going to have this new song and it needs to be for their upcoming Vegas residency of 2023, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I have 30 seconds or a minute. I know I'm not going to start on the drop. So I have like, 10 seconds of like that build up. Let me get these shots that are like 6 shots, but like not the most hype. And like, I would break it up into almost like 5 or 10 second pieces and be like, let me knock out that specific section, then move on to the next.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go about it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Give me number 3.
Number 3, I like this one. It says, what would you do if you weren't involved with videography/filmmaking?
Oh, that's super fun. We should all answer this one. Hit me, Jack. What do you want?
I think I would do something in the cooking realm. Probably.
That's what I was going to say. I think I'd be a chef.
I think I would be, I would do the racehorses stuff. That would be my thing.
Okay, like what position? And
I would be the trainer, like what my dad does.
Got it. Okay.
I would be the trainer guy.
You're small enough to be a jockey, though.
No, still no. That was good. My dad,
bring it back.
My dad was a jockey.
Nice.
My dad was a jockey, dude. I could have been a jockey in like the 5th grade.
You had jockey genetics.
I have jockey genetics. Yeah, I just kept kind of growing. It just
steroids.
Just didn't stop. Has nothing to do with it. Never on steroids, for the record.
We could open a restaurant together. That could be our thing if you want.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
What kind of food?
I would want to do breakfast.
Oh.
Would
just
you
like
have a mean burrito?
He definitely.
Okay.
Like breakfast sandwiches, breakfast
Tacos.
burritos, breakfast tacos.
I could get down with that.
Pancakes.
Closes at noon. Kostas could be about that.
Because he needs to like
Yeah,
go
he needs to go sleep.
Nice. You get next for that one.
I gotta say, Jack's breakfasts do be looking good when I'm watching the
they
vlogs. But
they are.
I'm also surprised Braden didn't say he wanted to be a professional softball player, because this dude just this dude thinks he's so impressive. He just hits a little underhand lob and he nukes it, and he's like, guys, I'm the athlete of the year.
If
man.
you go to a male softball or a co-ed softball game, whatever, those fucking guys have been training, not for a year, not for 2 years, for 40 years. For that moment. When you get up there, they've been training for 40 years to get that ball to that plate.
Right.
And their spin, dude, it's not like a little soft toss. These guys are like throwing knuckles and stuff and like doing curves. And I'm like,
Seems
dude.
serious.
And they're like 50s, 60s. And the pitcher is the most important thing. And I always hit bombs, so that's why I think I'm so good.
So
I
is that
think
gonna
you
be
kind of backing yourself up with all that, kind of.
I had my
Kinda let
mom.
the people
I
know what
I
the
had
truth
my
was.
mom
Is he
come
patting his
out. I
stats
had my
key on?
mom come out to double check that what I was doing was legit.
Your mom.
His mom came.
There's no bias there. There's no bias.
Chloe would tell you guys if I was ass at softball, all right? And I do hit bombs every time.
Nah, he is nice.
So is that going to be you at 50, like out there on the softball fields?
Oh, 100%. I'm going to be coaching every Little League. I'm going to be like screaming at kids.
Dude,
Love
Braden
that.
as a Little League coach is going to be the funniest
I'm gonna
fucking
be like-
thing ever. Yeah.
You're going to do
Giving
signals?
signs. Yeah. Oh, dude, my team is going to be locked. I feel like, though, there was always teams that would have like 7 terrible kids. And I'm like, is your dad like draft blindfolded? Like, what was going on, dude? And you like beat the shit out of them in Little League. And they're like, yeah, well, dude, like, your team's not good. I'm like, was your dad asleep like during the draft?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're drafting good. And I think that I could really bring something to the table for the kids.
Wow. I'm just like envisioning you as a dad right now.
I would totally wear, I think I'd be like an all Lululemon dad for the coach thing.
You would be the dad that I was afraid of in lower school.
And Braden's the dad who yells at his son and says, Timmy, I fucking spent so much money on private lessons for you. How the fuck are you going 0 for 4? This is bullshit.
And he would be good though, is the thing, but it would never satisfy.
No, it wouldn't be good. I don't know. Give me number 4.
One more. Okay.
Give me last one.
Let's I'll just throw 2 out and I'll run it back.
Out.
Okay, so what's a good first camera to buy when trying to shoot a bit more cinematic vlogs? Or I feel like you answered this one, the last one, like you just left school, but how did you get into doing content for Auburn and why did you leave?
What do we like?
I like the first one, but you guys should also go listen to the last episode that we had with Jack, because we go into his origin story and how he, kind of came out to LA and became a content creator. What was the last one though? I totally forgot it already.
What's a good first camera to buy when trying to shoot a bit more cinematic vlogs?
We have some recent experience with this.
I really like the Sony ZV-E1.
Yep.
It's my favorite camera that I've owned for a long time. The colors are great. It's expensive, but $2,000 for like one of the best small portable cameras.
It's super compact.
I really like it. I can't say enough good things. Maybe the G7X if you're this is a starter camera, you said, or cinematic,
but a bit more cinematic.
I think
what you have gives you that ability to create something that looks a bit more cinematic.
What was the one you got?
The FX30.
Maybe the FX30.
How do you like that?
I love it. It's like
what's the price point?
It's the FX3, but like $1,000 less. So it's like
3,500 ish.
No, it was like $2,000 with the body and the lens that I got.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
So the lens was like $500. The camera was like $1,400. So it was like right in the $2,000 range. And I really, really like it. And if you were looking for a starter camera, that would be a great option.
Dude, I'll also give a hot take on this. I feel like if you're not spending over about $1,500 to $2,000 for that camera, just use your phone, because there's not a whole lot of you're gonna get a really shitty camera, or you could just use your phone and practice editing and then eventually save your money and get something nice.
Use your phone, save until you can get into those types of cameras, or just use your phone.
I had a quick question for Jack, actually. I never thought about this, but do you color your iPhone footage at all?
No,
we wanted to talk about this.
So many people ask me this and I never color it. I do shoot in HDR, which everyone who talks about iPhone settings always says to turn that off. I've always kept it on because I think it gives you better contrast. And I think videos tend to look flat on the iPhone when they're posted like straight in feed or whatever. So I've had HDR on and I think that the colors look great.
And then do you edit it in Premiere?
Yeah.
And then do you have to click that one little setting?
Yeah.
Or is it a LUT that you put on it?
No, it's not a LUT. It's clicking the clip, going to modify, interpret footage.
Is it Rec 2020?
Yes.
Rec 2020. Okay.
Not 709, 2020.
Yeah. Rec 2020. If you want to change the iPhone clip from HDR to make it look normal.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Hey, that was questions from Keon's Corner, baby.
Nice. Shout out to Keon's Corner,
dude. Let's go. Number 4, you said that you wanted to think of your storytelling as a consequence, not and then.
Yes.
What does that mean exactly?
I think that the tendency, especially with the vlog format, is I'm doing something and then I'm doing the next thing and then I'm doing the next thing. And that's not really even a story at all. And it's not interesting to watch either. So I think when you think about your stories, can you have a reason? Can you have something happen and then the next thing happens as a consequence of the previous thing, which then leads you to the next thing, leads you to the next thing, rather than it's an and then situation. So a great example is I had some videos do really well when we were having all these thunderstorms in LA. Remember that? In January or February. Yeah. And I had problems with my power. And so when in the vlog, I actually was recording when the power, I was filming on my phone when the power went out in my house. So I had a great moment of okay, this happened. So that then causes all of the chain of events that happen afterwards, which makes for an interesting story. So my power went out, which then caused me to try and figure out, can I turn the power back on? Which then made me realize that everyone's power is out on my street, which then made me realize, okay, the power's out and everyone's is out on my street and it's raining it's raining like crazy and it's very cold outside. So it's about to be very cold inside here because we have no insulation in California anywhere, which then caused me to have to go to get a hotel room that night. And then I ended the vlog with you know, I hope that my power comes back on tomorrow. So it was a great example of like, this thing happened, which all of the next things happen as a consequence, is like a chain of events that occurred because of the specific thing. So like Casey lost his drone. Everything that happens after that is a consequence of him losing the drone. So if you can find ways to set up places where you can do something and then everything that happens after that happens because of something that happened during that event.
And you kept it open-ended. So
Yes.
the storyline didn't end.
Yeah, and it's kept open for like 3 days because that's how it was. Like the next night we had to stay in a hotel again, and then it finally came on the next morning. Like it was a whole thing. But those actually performed really well because I think it was so interesting. The storytelling was always a consequence of like everything going on around us.
I think that, you know, Casey really revolutionized vlogging, and for a really long time people were putting out 15-20 minute videos being like, and now we're here and this is what we're doing. Okay, now we're here and this is what we're doing. Like having that 3-act structure really comes into play. Like it's just basic storytelling, but yeah, having it be a consequence of as
Yes.
opposed to and then, I think is genius.
I think even saying all this stuff back is like doing these for almost 2 years has really brought me to, I'm stripped down to my phone and then my voice at the end of the day. And it's really brought me to like the fundamentals of filmmaking and like, can I get really good at those things? And I think before it was always, is there like a better camera or better lenses, or can I color this a little bit different, or can I find better music, or can I get a camera that shoots slow-mo? Like that was always the things that I was looking for. But this is like, now I'm bare bones. Like how can I just start to tell good stories? And I've just found that all of the fundamentals are the things that really make an interesting story, which, you know.
Yeah, and what's also interesting about that is like when you were first starting out doing the vlogs, we were talking about this last night, like they weren't as long as they are now. And so I feel like you have to really get better at your craft and like lean into how can I tell a better story in all these different ways to be able to hold a viewer's attention for a minute and a half as opposed to 30 seconds.
Yeah, at the beginning they were like 30, 35 seconds. And that was what I felt like I could get to before I was sort of out of juice for that day. But now there are certain days where they're like a minute. I had some when we were traveling that were like a minute 47. And I was like, honestly, I think this is a pretty entertaining minute 47, but I'm going to chop it down to a minute 20 so that people don't have to sit through the whole thing. But I think doing it that many times, you eventually get to the progression of like, you can start telling longer stories and hold that attention for longer.
I also think though that comes into play, just training your audience too. Like the example of when an artist first puts out music, right? Like if nobody knows who they are, no one's going to sit through a whole album of new music that they play or that they put out, but they'll listen to one song. So I feel like when you're first starting out putting content before anybody knows you, you have to like train your audience. Like, okay, I'm going to kind of like ease you into my content. We're going to make shorter form vlogs. And then we've done it with the podcast. Like we started doing shorter podcasts. And then like, as we've gone, I mean, this one's probably going to go a little bit longer. Like we've tried doing longer podcasts that are maybe an hour 30 as opposed to like 45 minutes when we were first starting out.
And I think people like that now. They were like,
yeah,
they're like, oh, okay, we get another minute 31. Like, let's go, you know? And I feel like that it's just interesting to see the progression of where you can take it. Like you don't have to put yourself in a box. You can always just keep testing and learning. And that's the thing that I feel like with the videos that I get sent a lot or I review from like coaching people is they're missing like the 3 acts, or they're missing just like an issue with the game. Like even a sports game, for example, I'm like, okay, like you have great edits, you have like all these cool effects, but no, like what the fuck happened? Right. We don't know what happened. Like you just showed all these crazy effects, and I'm like, you need to focus more on if like no one will ever hate on your video if it has very beautiful shots, good sound, and good color, and like it's chopped up well and there's like something to follow. But when you start putting in 1,000 effects and there's nothing to follow, and you're like, the team's colors aren't even that color, right? You've colored this like horrible, and like everyone's skin tones are all messed up, then you really start to notice it. And so I feel like when you're starting out, less is more, and to try to really focus on what you were saying with, okay, where are we going? What's happening? And what ended up happening? Or are they still continuing on to go for the state championship or whatever? And even like with sports hype videos or all that stuff, it's so just plug and play now with people. There's no experimentation, and I urge people to try to do different things, even like shoot it on the phone, like try different stuff, not just, okay, we have a 6 song, I need to do my transition pack that I have, and like, let's go, you know. It just, I feel like it's ruined a lot of filmmaking in that aspect.
Nobody likes the girl that has too much makeup on and the fake lips and the fake butt, right? We like the natural beauty, right? So like too many effects, no good. You got to stick with like the good storyline.
Right? Beautifully said.
That was a great example.
Thank you.
Honestly.
If you guys want to see some like really well done sports edits that involves more storytelling, I recommend going to like the Nike EYBL page, and they do a bunch of great stuff, especially with like Jason Tatum's new thing. They just made some great
you
videos.
showed us that video. That was sick. Check that out for sure.
Let's go. Number 5, Jack. It is right there, my friend.
Oh, yes. This is a great one, and one that took me a while to realize as well. Recently, within the past year, I've gotten to work with some brands and have experiences in person, even, and just on the phone in general, talking to brands. And typically what I found is it's not about we picked you because your videos get tons of views or you're getting a bunch of likes or you have a bunch of followers. It's like, no, I am just a person who happened to like your videos. And I saw one of them. And then a few days later, I saw another one. And then I went to your page because I was like, oh, I kind of like these videos. And then a month later, I was seeing all of your videos every day on my page. And when the brand that I work for finally wanted to work with creators, you were on my list of top 10, 15 creators to want to work with. So you get to be a part of that experience. And sometimes I was like in these rooms with creators and I was like the smallest, creator in the campaign or whatever it was. But the only reason that I was there is because I became somebody's favorite creator who was working at this brand. So I think like a lot of times, especially with coaching and like people who are like coaches on TikTok and like social media gurus, there's like a lot of like algorithm hacking and how can you have better hooks, and those things are all like nice. But I think it takes a little bit of the passion away of like, how can you just become a great creator and somebody who people want to watch?
I feel like they're almost making pegs in the machine. Those people, those gurus, like you watch those videos and like, oh, you should have I fucking hate the classic like CEO TikTok. It sucks. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, hey, we want to learn how to make money today. I'm like, dude, fuck you, dude. Get the fuck off my feed, man. I have beef with those guys. Also, their videos all suck. They're all the same. Like, and I think that, like, let's use an example of someone that is a CEO that makes really good content, like Ryan Serhant. He makes good stuff.
Yeah.
He has all kinds of like dialed in on his content, but the reason why it's good is because it doesn't look like every other like CEO guy who's a real estate agent.
Yep.
It's very personable. He has a great personality. It's like, he's electric. Like, that's why people are watching that stuff, not because of these wild edits. And I feel like those guru guys, man, they're like they're telling you all that some of it's helpful. Like some of the hook stuff, sure, could be helpful. But
yeah, absolutely.
But like for the most part, you're almost being like trained by them to be another one of them.
Yeah.
And you end up just everything that you make becomes like, okay, the goal is to do everything that I can to beat the algorithm to get a bunch of views. And then you're expecting that the outcome is just like brands are going to flood your inbox. But the truth is, if those brands, even though you're getting tons of views, if they scroll across your video and it has millions of views or whatever, but they don't actually engage with the content, they're going to keep scrolling and not have you on their list of creators to work with.
And that's what's crazy, dude. Like you have people are trying to go viral, right? And I feel like a lot of the time, from 99% of people, you don't want to go viral. Because if you do, and you don't have any, if you have one video, we've all seen those TikTok accounts that have 10 million, 20 million views on a video, and you swipe onto their page and it's like an 8-year-old and they're like, on their profile picture, and you're like, all right, like I'm out of here. Like, let me get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like you want like substance in your content. You want like these storytelling pieces, or you want pieces that show, oh, this guy does photo video, this guy daily vlogs, this girl does this, whatever,
I would also say that when a brand is coming to a creator to do a partnership, the goal of the campaign, there might be different motives, but it's usually to like, move product, like generate sales. And just because someone has like a hot girl has 4 million followers on Instagram, but isn't going to sell a single unit of what she's trying to promote because she's not she's not building a deep connection
You know what
with
she
her
could
audience.
sell? Some OnlyFans subscriptions, baby. Come on.
True. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're not getting as many views as like the next person, if you have a deeper connection with the audience that you have, you're going to be able to move more product for a brand and have a more successful, brand partnership. Someone who we've had on the pod, who we were talking about this last night, is Sam Newton. I remember him talking to us about how when Canon came to him, he was like a little bit of imposter syndrome, because he's like, everybody else who's getting selected is like these big time creators. Like, why would they come to me? But he has such a unique style, and his audience is so engaged that, like, of course they're going to select him because he's doing it differently than everybody else.
Absolutely.
And you'd rather have like a smaller, stronger team of rocks than just a bunch of sand.
Sure.
It's not the same. It's not the same connection with, you really want a connection with the people that are watching your stuff.
Yeah. And the brands and the people who are wanting to connect with creators, they want to connect with creators who they feel like are genuine, authentic people and are going to represent the brand well, not necessarily somebody who's always going to go viral. If you're someone who's always going to go viral and you're making great content, you're a unicorn, and like, congratulations. You figured it out. But like, not everyone's going to be like that, and the goal shouldn't be, can I just go viral?
Yeah, I also think I kind of want to touch on this. Like, you've had a lot of experience working with brands now, with brand partnerships. What do you feel like makes a good partnership when it comes to creator and brand?
I think the brand having trust in the creator is huge. Like, a great example is when I went to Miami doing the stuff with Heineken. Like, that whole team was amazing, and like, the only thing that they asked for me is just make your vlog, and that's it. That's the whole brief. We know that you're going to do this the way that you're going to do it, and it's a unique selling proposition that none of the other creators here have. They're going to like, other people are going to post stories and pictures and do whatever, but like, you doing a daily vlog and like posting this every single day is something that no one else is going to do. So just do that thing the way you've been doing it for 578 days or whatever it was at that point. And so in doing that, they gave me so much freedom to just create the way that I wanted to. And it didn't hold me, it didn't like confine me in the way that I was trying to tell the story. And so it made for a very authentic, organic brand integration. And I think those videos were, unbiasedly, I think they were pretty fun. Yeah. And I think it was like a great weekend where they were giving me this awesome experience, but they weren't asking for creative control over what I was doing.
Which is what I feel like produces the best stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even agency life, if you're not working with a creator, if you're working with an agency and you're a production company, if they come in and they tell you, oh, you guys need to do it like this, and you're like, well, we've done 1,000 of these and we do it like this.
Yes.
This is how it should be done. You know, I feel like you got to let the people who you're hiring, you got to trust in them that like, that's the vetting process, and be like, oh, hey, do your thing. Because you're going to be better at it than anyone on like the account team or whatever. You're like, they've never made 600 vlogs in a row.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And they'll always, the good thing from the brand is like, they need to give you goals. Like, here is the goals that we want to have for this weekend of like, we want you to, maybe show this part of the experience. We want people to be excited about our brand. We want, XYZ. That's all fine and good. But when it comes to like actually attacking towards those goals, just leave it up to the creator, because they're going to know the best way to organically pitch your product to the people that are watching their videos.
No, absolutely. You don't want anyone swiping by your cool video that they hired you to do.
No.
Jack, please give me number 6.
Number 6 is, this is a overarching thing that I've been thinking about a lot, and I think will be useful if you are trying to make content, is asking yourself, is what I'm making giving the audience, the people that are watching this, a reason to follow me for the next 6 to 12 months? It's not like, can I make something today that's going to go viral or get a bunch of attention and views? It's, can I plant a seed now that's eventually going to grow into a tree? Like, I don't know where this is going to go eventually, but I want the growth with the audience and the growth for the content to be there. And you want the audience to know that eventually you're going to go somewhere with this, and they want to be along for the ride with you. So like, I'm 600 whatever days into the vlog, and like, I don't know what it's going to be on day 1000. And I think that that's an interesting proposition of, if you follow me, then I will be posting one of these every single day. And over the past 600 days, it's completely changed my life, to be completely honest. And in the next 600 days, it could do something completely different. And we don't know what that looks like. And I hope we have some fun along the way. And I think that's like a good proposition of like giving people a reason to follow along for your story. And if you're just making things, but not giving them a reason to follow along, then they sort of like, they won't like champion you as a creator.
Do you think one of those X factors is consistency? Like you can't just post once a month and expect, right? Like,
I think, you know, it's like, you have to balance it. If you're posting once a month, then like your once a month post has to be an absolute banger. And you have to give people a reason that you need to be only posting once a month. And like the once a month needs to be like the most amazing thing that's happened every month, you know? Whereas like I'm doing mine every day. So like the barrier, like the expectation from the audience might be a little bit lower. But if you're doing 3 times a week, you just want to make sure that people know that you're going to do 3 times a week and they can expect it. And then you have to knock it out of the park however you do that.
Also, going off of consistency, something that I realized since us doing a 30-day challenge and just trying to post more consistently on social is like you take the pressure off of yourself that like this has to be the video that goes viral because I'm only posting twice a month, maybe once a month. Like if you're getting at bats every single day and okay, this video, maybe it didn't do well, but at least I posted and I'm going to try to make a better video the next day. It's like you take the pressure off of yourself that every single video needs to be a banger because like if you're getting, let's say, if you're posting every day, 30 days in a month and 90% of them don't hit or 95% of them don't hit, like you're still getting 3 or 4 that are hitting as opposed to being like, I'm only getting 1 or 2 at bats this month. Hopefully they go viral. And if they don't, like, then I'm kind of screwed.
I'm a failure.
All right, let me just throw a little quick thing in because I mean, for the pod at least, consistency has easily been the most important thing. Like obviously the content has gotten better and stuff, but not only is it like, okay, posting 90 versus 30 in a month, like you have more chances to go viral, but also like it's all like piling up. Like the videos that you post like 2 weeks ago are still getting seen by people. And like, you know, you might post 3, but only one of those might show up on people's feeds. Like they're not seeing every single one, you know what I mean? So you kind of got to like post different types of content, or not different types, but just a lot. So the right content can get to those people like at the right places, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think it's been amazing to see the growth. Seriously, shout out to you guys. And if you're not subscribed, dude, do the boys a favor and help us out. Please give us a little sub on that. And a little like button never hurt. You talked about Jack earlier, like a few weeks ago with us, how there was a portion of time where you felt like you struggled with the identity of the vlog, where you woke up and you're like, I'm filming my life every day and this is how I'm making money, but I'm also experiencing life. And how did you kind of come to terms with that realization, and what did the realization actually look like?
Well, I think at the beginning the proposition was I'm making the vlog every day and it's sort of going to be behind the scenes of what it's like to be working in the, you know, video world, like in the film industry. And so it was like behind the scenes of being a director or editor or whatever the thing that I was doing. And so as the vlog grew, it became my like source of income, and sort of the freelance stuff sort of dwindled. And I was like, well, if that's not really here, then like the vlog is just me existing every day. Like that's kind of a weird, that seemed like a bit of a weird thing to like propose to the audience of like, I'm not really doing anything, I'm just existing, and then I make a video about that. And for a while I couldn't really understand how it would work with me just doing the vlog, because I felt like there needed to be something that I was doing on top of the vlog. And I got to the point where I was like, I need to stop thinking of the vlog as something that's showing something else, and the vlog can be the story that I create every day. I can be a director of a TikTok vlog that is what it is. We'll just call it what it is. I am a director of a TikTok vlog that happens once a day and is 60 to 75 seconds, and that is what it is. And that allowed me to start thinking like, okay, how can I think about this structure rather than it being a BTS of my life, as like, how can I make these stories every day? Like, how can I approach them with the same mentality that I approached all of my other client work? And so then I started getting into all the ideas about like, you know, all the things that we've talked about today. That's really like where it came from in the past 200-ish days of thinking like, this is the full-time thing. Like, where's the value in that? Like, I'm going to make the best story I can possibly make every day using all the things that I've learned from the past 9 years of filmmaking and putting it into this vlog every day.
I mean, you can tell though. I mean, your vlogs are so captivating, and I don't say it lightly. Like, I fucking love waking up and watching your vlog. So does my girlfriend. We watch them together. You know, it's like I enjoy.
It's a family affair.
I enjoy watching that. I even showed my mom one of your videos when we were in Idaho, which was funny. She's like, "Oh, this is your friend." I'm like, "Yeah, this is Jack." Like, so she could put it. I feel like she's always asking me who my friends are. I'm like, "You don't know that person," you know, and I'm like, "Oh, well, you can know this one." You know, so it's been dope, and I think that it's a testament to like how hard of a worker you are, like that you've kept it up, and like to see where it's at today and where you've came a year ago, like it's amazing, and I'm happy for you. I think it's really cool to just see where it's at.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Although the like freelance stuff has dwindled and like your life is the vlog, really, you have been doing some pretty cool stuff with brands that you're also working on, like building other stuff, right? So you've recently become an investor with Wims. Yes.
So Wims is a great product. It's basically like a better for you peanut butter cup. And I've gotten to know the family over the past like 6 or 7 months. They're great people. I believe in them. I think that they're going to I think that the brand is going to grow, and hopefully it's in grocery stores everywhere one day. But I basically wanted to get in early with them and provide value in any way that I could, and sort of, I believe in them and I believe in what they're doing. So now I'm an investor in a brand, which is pretty crazy to say.
That's really exciting.
I mean, I think that just shows though what's possible with this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a year ago, would you have thought that you could be?
No way. Last year I was like, if I could get a multi-video brand deal, like that would have been awesome. But now it's like, I can be, you know, an investor in a company, sort of like for the long haul, be a part of their story. And like, that's what's really exciting to me, is trying to find those brands who I can really attach myself to their story and like grow with them. I feel like that's the best, like the most organic way to have like a brand relationship.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, go get some Wims, dude.
Oh, definitely.
Where can they get them? Where do they get them at?
Currently right now, it's going to be, unless you're in LA or New York or Texas, it's going to be mostly online. So they're on Amazon, they're on the Wims website, and you can get them shipped out to you. Or you could be in LA and maybe find them in like a grocery store or something.
Nice.
But they're small right now. They need to, like, before they get into like Whole Foods and all those stores, like it's going to be a while, but it's going to happen eventually.
But with your help, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe
seeing them in some vlogs.
You were saying that, you know, you don't really know where the next 600 vlogs are going to go, but you're still going to do them, which I can't wait to see. Do you have any specific goals or things that you want to accomplish, knock off your bucket list, whatever, in the next 6 to 12 months, in the near future, within the next year?
Yeah, I think like the daily goal is always, how can I make tomorrow's video better than today's? And that's sort of like the framework that I work off, you know, in every single day. And then like long term, I hope it's like, how can I be the best short form storyteller? Like, ever. Let's just go with it.
I love that.
Like, how can I just be the best at making short form storytelling?
Yeah.
And like, I want people to scroll onto one of my videos and really feel like watching my vlog is like watching their favorite TV show. And even though it's a minute long and it's on TikTok, it comes out every day. And in the same way that like I feel when I watch my favorite TV show or movie, I want people to feel that way about my vlog. And I think eventually I want to get to the place where people are like that invested in the vlogs. And so like that's kind of the goal, is like getting people to love it as much as you would love like your favorite TV show. And I think as far as like other concrete goals, like I would love to, like the fact that I'm partnering with Wims is amazing. I would love to like partner with a few different companies long term, and so that they can be almost a part of the world that I build out in the videos. Like the Bev has been in the videos since the beginning, but I would love for there to be other brands that are sort of like always around and they become characters. And I would like to have like multi-year partnerships with brands, so it feels like I'm partnered with a few rather than a lot of random ones.
Totally.
So yeah, those are, I guess, more strategic goals.
I like it.
I like that, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
Man, this has been so fun having you on the show for episode 73.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Dude, we're going to link all of Jack's socials down below, but I just want to say thank you for coming on again.
Thank you boys for having me.
Absolute blast. Episode 73, the 505 pod. Make sure to leave a like, hit the sub button, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.